Marketing Edge is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Bababumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. It was a festival of ideas, democracy, and professional renewal in Lagos as the city's chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations elected a fresh executive team at its 2025 PR Fest. The gathering hosted explored the critical theme of urban farming and food security, while also ushering in new leadership for the chapter. The elections produced Dr. Samuel Ayetutu as chairman, Eniola Mayowa as vice chairman, and Samuel Adeyemi as secretary. Giving his acceptance speech, Dr. Ayetutu promised to steer the chapter with professionalism, inclusiveness, and innovation, pledging to strengthen its impact in Nigeria's communication space. The Nigerian advertising industry is stepping into a new chapter, charting a fresh growth path as it prepares for the 2025 National Advertising Conference. Chairman of the organizing committee, Tunji Adeyinka, said the gathering is designed to address today's business realities while positioning practitioners for tomorrow's opportunities. He confirmed that the conference will run from November 12 to 14 at the Continental Hotel in Abuja with the theme Transforming Businesses and Creating Growth in Challenging Times. Adeyinka stressed that the theme captures not just the core mission of the conference, but also mirrors the sweeping changes shaping Nigeria's marketing and communications landscape. Abuja sparkled with excitement as global tech giant Madia opened its flagship pro shop, an immersive hub designed to reimagine how Nigerians live when it comes to luxury and comfort. The grand opening drew partners, guests, and top management staff who not only celebrated the milestone, but also shared passionate reflections on what Madia stands for and reasons behind the launch.
And today that Midea is global #1 brand in the air conditioner, where they are having all the home air conditioner to the commercial air conditioner. And today in the Abuja, we want to showcase our commercial air conditioner capacity to all the consumers.
For the product that we are launching, which is the Unicool Plus today, the advantages that it has, of course, is numerous. One of the advantages is the low voltage range that it has. So it goes as low as between 80 volts and then 265 volts. What that means is even when your power supply or your voltage supply is quite low as 80 volts, your AC can work. This is something that a lot of other brands doesn't have. We are the only one that has that for now.
Midea have launched an AC that can have one outdoor unit up to multiple indoor units. That's saving power. Also, when we talk about fridge, innovation, the ACs, they are like breezerous AC, very fantastic, and Burj Khalifa. Also, Midea also is the first to launch Wi-Fi enabled AC.
Right after the ribbon cutting, guests moved to the Partners Conference and Gala Night at Hilton Hotel Abuja, where they were introduced to Madia's Unicool, its new smart air conditioner built for Africa's power realities.
This AC is developed from Nigeria. We send our R&D team and live in Nigeria. Then we collect the consumers' pain points, then started transfer to our factory. Then we made this AC happen. Firstly, it can widely adapted to a small generator, because Unicool has built-in voltage stabilizer. You don't need to buy a new one, and it can run perfectly from the voltage range from 80 to 285. It is widest range in this market.
What we want to do is to make sure that media is in the mind of every consumer in Nigeria, especially air condition business. We want to make sure that in every home we put media there. That's why we are making a lot of noise.
The night also sealed a landmark partnership with the United Nations Migration Agency aimed at improving migrants' lives.
And this is even more critical around this time when we are grappling with global challenges in terms of shrinking funding landscape. And that's why the private sector comes in very handy to fill in the gap that is already there as far as the humanitarian needs are concerned.
The company also announced a bold alliance with CAF ahead of AFCON 2025. Indeed, with all these, my dear has demonstrated that it is poised with more of a promise of comfort, innovation, and a future where technology meets empathy. That was brand news. Next is Branding Focus after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Now brand in focus. It is a new dawn for Nine Mobile as the telecom operator kicked off a major rebrand, officially transitioning to a bold new identity known as T2. The Chief Executive Officer, Obafemi Banigbe, affirmed that the move signals a fresh chapter for the company, adding that the new T2 brand marks the transformation phase of its recovery roadmap after steps to stabilize and modernize the business.
It is about making sure that we identify how we can better serve that customer, how we can better make sure that in serving the customer too, we also have an opportunity to reinvest in our business and remain sustainable.
He also explained that Nine Mobile, which is now T2, has revamped its leadership, expanded coverage through a landmark infrastructure sharing deal with MTN, and pledged to lead in innovation and digital lifestyle services. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Board, Thomas Etu, Chairman Emerging Markets Telecommunications Limited, said the rebrand marks a rebirth for the telecoms brand, while noting that it represents the start of a new phase of life, a fresh start, rebirth, growth, reawakening, and a new order. Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. My guest today is Kingsley James, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Indoor Designs and Concepts Limited. Join us after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
On Industry Conversation, my guest is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Indoors Designs and Concepts Limited, IDCLNG, Kingsley James. Glad to have you.
Thank you so very much.
What's your overall assessment of the Nigerian branding and communications ecosystem?
It's evolving, I think positively so. Branding is just one aspect of the entire marketing infrastructure. And I can say that we've experienced in Nigeria specifically consistent growth in the last 10 years. Brands are now, product owners are now more aware of the importance of branding. Events people are also very much aware. In fact, they insist now that positioning and perception is critical to whatever form or social activity or message they are bringing out there. So, and those who are curating the ideas or executing them are also developing different tools, engaging in digital media to ensure that the whole gamut of the experience is holistic. And I can say for free that I think it has evolved, it has grown. We are not there yet. We are not where the entire global space is, but I'm happy that we know where we are.
Okay, your agency as a key player in this industry, what challenges do you face?
A lot, but you won't want to be an entrepreneur if you don't think that there is a challenge anyway.
But critical to that for us is the human capacity aspect. We worry all the time about getting the right fit for the right job. So half the time we have to train. Sadly, some of our people in Nigeria, as they are today, graduate not with the idea to be effective or efficient. So you see people go to school and then they read something like botany, like one of my staff here, one of the corpus I just got read botany, and she loved to take photography. And she came to a activation company for her service. So there's too much disconnect in continuity of knowledge from her school, her course, to what she had passion for. And so that has shown clearly in our employment process as well. Of course, there's also laziness and all of that. However, the second challenge is clearly funding. Our kind of business is a bit different, trying to be an executing agency for the entire IMC strategy is a big deal. It means you have to invest in every aspect. So I have to have my own welders, I have to have my own printers, I have to have my carpenters, I have to have my own painters, my aluminum illustration people, I have to have everything. So that is highly capital intensive. And our bankers clearly do not understand that aspect clearly yet. And so we find it very difficult to see some banks who are willing to partner with us in that term, in long term. In a short term, yes, but in a long term, we are still working with them. So funding and the knowledge gap and capacity building is a problem I see.
How does your agency navigate the complexities of managing client-agency relationship, and how do you retain such partnership?
The first thing in this business is that you must have the ability to network. You must do that even before you become a CEO. I mean, if you're trying to do that after you got to this position, there'll be nobody to network with. So the first thing is that we've spent a lot of years in the past making friends, building bridges, both on the supplier side and on the client side. Because really, if you have good clients and they request for stuff and you can't get suppliers to deliver for you, then that's a challenge. So we network that, and luckily, we are sitting in a space where we can say, yes, we can deliver that. However, clients also evolve. So exchange rate problems, we have inflationary problems, we have logistical problems. And we know the war in Ukraine also affected global logistics. In that, you have to think outside the box to get things done. So that again has been a big challenge, but we are way through evolving with them. We keep understanding our clients' needs and trying to be one step ahead of them. And in that wise, we'll stay in business.
What are your thoughts on agencies joining professional bodies?
This is really about me. Now, my conviction is that you must, in fact, you can't survive without it. In fact, you must join multiple agencies, not just one. Whether they are regulatory or not, you just have to join them to survive. But initially, I didn't have that conviction. I used to see it from the perspective of what do they do for me. So as a businessman, what will an AppCon do for me beyond regulated? What will an X-Man do for me beyond regulated? AAAN, what will they do for me? So I asked those questions, and based on that, I have a printing press, and it took me a while to join CIPRON, right? So I used to say, well, what will they do? And I can see the value. But frankly, even if they do nothing, you should join, because then you can have what we call interchange of encouragement. Then you can have people carrying the same burden as you are, and then you can share ideas. And then when you meet at global conferences, you can see what the bigger problem is, and you can talk collectively about the industry, because the government will not listen to only you. They will listen to a collective perception of what that industry entails. So I encourage every young businessman to find what industry, what agency or body is relevant to them and join. It's very, very helpful. You can't survive without them.
Can you give us an insight on how IDCLNG has been compliant with regulations and standards in the industry?
All right, the biggest for us, because we are execution company.
Okay.
We ideate sometimes, but we leave the likes of extreme ideas, the likes of inside publicists that go to ideate. So when they finish and they bring it to us or our tourists of this world, we then take that to execute. For us, safety is the first thing. We can't negotiate the safety, and safety is regulated by both Lagos state governments and most of our professional bodies. So we have to ensure that that's there. And then there are also regulatory standards, beyond safety. What are your finishing parameters? What are the trucks you carry? How do you ensure that the people you bring are well trained, even in delivering those services at different people's offices or event centers? So execution is slightly more difficult, and so what we do is to try to keep up to date with those regulatory agencies. However, there are the ones that you cannot even practice if you don't have. So we have to at least go ahead to abide by the rules, just so that we are not found wanting at any point when our services are needed.
Do you think some of these regulations stifle growth or creativity?
Of course they do, but you can't sit and say that just conveniently. The people who are designing them are like those who probably wrote the Bible, right? They do not see everybody. Man writing the Bible is probably in one place in a Jewish country and is writing. So they did not see what's happening in Morocco, not in Lagos. And when you apply it in Lagos, you will now see complexities. So sometimes, yes, in applying to local companies, your own company, you might see either internal complexity, you might see maybe a national complexity when you travel across states, or even a continental complexity. You see those. But the job of your bodies, professional bodies, is to join them and ensure that you are able to inform them, and collectively you can carry that voice to amend those complexities. So yes, I would say they are there, but it's also our fault if we sit as head of businesses and we don't collectively share those complexities with a view to debate them and amend them where necessary.
What are some of the ethos and principles that guide your company?
I'm not a CEO that worries about how much qualification you've got. I cherish education a lot, but my definition of education is different.
Okay.
I believe that a drummer is educated as long as he can drums well. If he picks his drum and can drum well and can communicate, he doesn't have to be able to communicate in English. I don't feel so. In China, they don't speak English, right? So I'm not in that school of a formal, regimented education as what I believe must be educated in whatever field that you. So one of that is that people must be educated in the field that they want to practice. Knowledge is key for us, and you must constantly be able to adapt and develop them, because every day we see changes in what we do. I also feel that I look out for people who are exceptionally passionate. In our own job, you don't buy a Rolls Royce today. You don't join us and buy a Rolls Royce today. I'm not saying that I'm not those who can, but you must be passionate about business first. And the people who trust us with their brands, who trust us with their projects, do not think about how much profit we have made. They think about how much value we have added. So if passion is driving you, the money will come. The money will come. I had an experience of a very big brand, and let me protect it on this program, who called us to make some few prints some weeks ago. And after making the prints, the guy called me and said, "This is not the quality we want." And my guys wanted to say, "No, it was the artwork." I said, "No." I asked them, "Did you do a sample?" They said, "No." "Did you send him to approve?" They said, "No." I said, "We have breached our protocol. So let them return anything." And the guy came nicely to say, "Okay, I will return everything and I'll pay half of the cost." I said, "No, you can't pay. Then you will also be teaching us bad habits." So we took back all the job without getting a kobo. It's painful. But trust me, that's the only way you can teach both sides a lesson. Next time when I tell the client that is in a hurry to do his job, that, hey, if you don't sign this set of stuff, your job won't be done, you will know that I'm not arrogant. I'm just following the process. You wouldn't have gotten my hand burns before. And my team know that they will also go ahead next time if it's not done. So it is those kind of structure that we need to consistently maintain and ensure that the structure is improved per time. And that's the only way, I mean, that's the only way this part of our business can go.
But don't you feel this back and forth sent to the clients, bring back, check, don't you think it delays production or results?
Yeah, it does. But the point, and that's the problem is actually, let me not say Nigeria. The problem sometimes is more here. And I'll give you an example. Your birthday is 1 year away. If I've had it yesterday, it's 1 year away. You may not know if you want to celebrate your birthday in the year's time, but you do know there's a possibility that you will. You can't start planning 1 week away. You can't, right? So that's the first challenge. But once the client comes to you and you take the brief, you have crossed that bridge. You knew you had come late, and so you can put the process in place to deliver the value. So I don't stay on that space too much. I only give him that feedback. So the back and forth is needed for us to fabricate. If you want to fabricate any of this, it takes time. But will you rather fabricate and the client rejects? So which? So let the back and forth happen in the process of planning. But when it signs off, then you know you are good to go. However, I will tell you that some clients still come back to you after they have signed off on a project and say, oh, I want to amend life while you are doing it. And I will take a life event, for instance. So you have signed off to say, let me make it simpler. You have signed off to say, oh, this content is what's going to happen. So after the MCs introduce the guest, then the artist will play. And this artist is say XY. And then while the program is on, the producer, they whisper to the producer's eye and say, yeah, and say, please, you have to change this XY to artist YX. Now, the man who built the old show flow had built intentionality into the show. So there are things that he has considered. What is the speed that the show is going? What is the content? What should go after each other? What should we do? What's the mood? He has built all that into lighting. He has built all that into the screen, into the multimedia that we're showing behind you. And suddenly you say, no, why X artist should come on? Live show, right? So you talk to the client. If the client insists, your professional calling will come in. You either decide to say, no, sir, this will solve the entire show, and you run the risk of not working the client again.
I can imagine.
Yes. You have to put your professional calling online. But if it's not as bad, you make the client understand that I can make a call today, but I can't do this next time. So let's do it.
How much technology does IDCLNG employ in its operations?
Everything. Everything for us is technology. Everything. So for every aspect, I told you we are executing integrated marketing communication solutions. That's what we do. So we call ourselves a 360-degree production company. So imagine that you have decided to start a company and you said you want to print a call card. That's probably the simplest thing we do. I'm not sure how long a time we have done it, but it's one of the things we can just a printing a call card. It's so simple, but you need the right printer. Printer grew from being 12 meter wide to just 6 feet wide, and they still maintain the same speed and quality. So if you are still doing those long, I don't want to enter the brand name type, it will take you weeks to finish that same call card. Just a small desktop one will finish it in seconds. So every aspect, if you go to fabrication, if you go to event planning, if you go to activation, if you go to sound, if you go to a digital market, of course, that's totally digital driven. Everything we rely on technology. And that's why we spend money almost every year. Every year we have to, whether we like it or not, improve whatever system that you have. So everything we have last year is looking obsolete now. And so we have to beg the banks again. We are here again. Oh, did we pay for last year? Yes, please give us more money. Let's take this one out.
So looking at technology, how well do you think AI will play in this sector? Artificial intelligence.
For us, it will grow into us. In the creative part, yes. In fact, it's taking over some jobs. The creative parts, the content creation parts, yes. But in the physical build parts, yeah, it will take some time. It's not what we build is not up to that level.
Any fear?
No fear. We for IDC LNG, no, we have no fear. We are ready for when it's ready, right? We are following it, we are learning it, we are using it where it's necessary, but in the actual execution of strategies, not much. We just use it more in the data gathering part. Yeah.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
That's much we can take on today's episode. Join us again next week when we shall have the concluding part of the conversation with Kingsley James. I am Bababumi Agbibi.